I'll let you start this one off, man. I don't know how to start this video.
Look, we just got back from seeing Men in the theater with a bunch of men.
We got there a little early. Everyone was coming in. It was men. I was like, it's funny. It's a bunch of men. But then 2 girls came in, sat right in the middle. And I was like, this is a very interesting dynamic.
It was a very interesting crowd. When you see... I mean, I don't know. It's just strange to me to go to the movie theaters by myself. If you do that, that's a cool thing, whatever. But it was seriously just me and Ricky walking in. There was a guy here, a guy up there, talking to each other, which is like a new thing. I've never seen that before in a movie theater. Well, you know, like the whole crowd was actually interacting with each other before it started.
Yeah, it was a fun, small crowd, very small crowd. I don't know what you're getting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying it was a lively environment. And then the movie Men started. It just went a little bonkers from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie really fucked you up, I feel like.
No, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, they don't either, but I think by now they know that Justin never knows what the fuck he's saying. He just kind of goes over here, goes over there, and then Ricky's just sitting here like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking dead fucking fuck.
Let's talk about Men.
Yeah. I really thought going into this movie, I thought it was going to be like the most accessible A24 film.
I didn't.
And then as I was watching, I'm like, well, it kind of is. Like, it is like a little horror suspense thriller going on. And then it just goes off the fucking rails where if you were into it and you're not used to an A24 type of movie, you're probably going to be like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But guess what? You're the fucking dumb one. Because this movie's ending has so many fucking layers to it, I feel like, that we will dive into later.
Yeah. First off, this is a spoiler discussion. I don't do the whole non-spoiler shit. We're going to talk about what we saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's start off with the performances, Ricky.
Jessie Buckley.
Oscar
worthy?
Oh, for sure. She's becoming one of my favorite actresses, if not my favorite actress at the current moment. And then there's this new guy in here. There's only 2 actors in here, but there's like 20 characters. It's just the male actor in this film, Rory Kinnear, I believe his name is. Very impressive in the role. But he plays like 12 different men in this film.
Which I did not know until we left the theater. I thought that's how good of a performance was. I thought they were all just different guys.
Yeah, so you have a priest dude, you have a freaking housekeeper taker dude. You have a man-child, you have a police officer. Oh, there is a female police officer as well.
And also her husband is a different guy, and her friend is a different person. So there's more than just 2 people in this movie.
Yeah, but 90% of it is the 2.
Yeah.
But this movie goes off the rails. I will say Alex Garland, freaking just an incredible visionary director. The freaking cinematography is amazing. The whole scene where you see in the trailers where they go to the tunnel, and that's a lot more extended on in there.
Obviously.
Okay. But I'm telling you what right now, I just don't know what the fuck this movie is saying or what it's about. But I loved it.
Still, kind of. It's a very fun watch. It's definitely something you're going to have to watch a couple times to fully get it. I think that on the car ride home, we've kind of figured out what it's about. I think basically what they did here, they took a story about someone losing someone and then feeling guilt over that loss as if it was her fault or she could have done something different to prevent that. And then her going somewhere far away to escape that and overcome it. And then you add A24 to the mix, and then it just gets fucking weird. But at the end of the day, I think that's the story.
Yeah, I want to dive deeper into that later. I will say this. The most impressive aspects of this movie is the body horror. Especially, it doesn't show up till the end, really, but my God.
Disregard everything I said, though.
What?
We could have had a discussion about it. You want to save that for later. Why didn't you cut me off? Why didn't you stop me midway through saying all that? You let me finish just to...
I agreed with you.
But you want to bring it up later.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to get in spoiler territory. I would like to save that for later on in the video. Jesus Christ. You're a fuck up. You know what Ricky said to me? He's like, is there an extra credit scene? Like, this is a fucking Marvel movie. He's a fucking idiot. But anyways.
First off, we went to see a A24 movie called X, extra credit scene. So, I'm not that big of a fucking idiot. Okay. And I hope there is an extra credit scene, just something little, so you can get destroyed.
I just hope there's not an extra credit scene. It doesn't need it. There is kind of an extra credit scene, actually, if you really do think about it. But they did it at the beginning of the credits. But regardless, we're getting off fucking track. Stop throwing us off track. The body horror in this movie is fucking incredible. Shades of fucking David Cronenberg. Fucking love that. The suspense of this movie is awesome, especially that scene in the tunnel. Like, that shit's suspenseful as fuck.
Yeah.
And then we get to, yeah, Jessie Buckley kills it, but yeah, I guess we'll get into spoilers now because I can't really... Okay, so the ending of this fucking movie is she's trapped in a house, right? And then all the men portrayed by Rory Kinnear, great actor, is coming in not all at once, one at a time.
Separate times.
Yeah.
They all sustain the same injuries, which her husband at the beginning of the... I'll tell you what, man. We're not good at reviewing movies. I found myself more interested in the story of her and her husband fighting than I did of the story of her being in this, this countryside.
Well, it's very important. That whole thing is important. They go flashbacks to why she is where she is right now, and the husband definitely doesn't look good in these scenes whatsoever. But I'm sure there's more to it in the background. He's not somebody you're like, oh, he's a piece of shit, horrible human being. He's clearly heartbroken because they're getting a divorce.
He's going through some shit. Yeah, he's going through shit.
He, threatens that he's going to kill himself.
And it'll be your fault.
Yeah, if they don't stay together. Which, actually, that's a lot of people do that type of shit, when they're at the end of the relationship.
I think guys probably
more than women. Yeah. Women do that shit, too.
We get crushed, though. It hurts.
Yeah, men definitely do get crushed more than women. That might be... I don't know.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's a statement. I'm just talking about... It's an opinion. Yeah. So all this shit happens, and then he finds out that she's texting her friend some shit, and then
she's texting her friend, I'm scared of him.
Yes, and then he steals her phone, and he's all pissed off about it. I don't think that... Well,
he reads it, and then he punches her in the face. And then she kicks him out, and then he goes upstairs and jumps off the building. That's why she went away, to get away from all that shit.
Yes, but there's also a very important scene of...
Hairball.
Yes, then there's a very important thing after you see him on the ground after he fell off the building that is pretty gnarly. Fucking, what do you call those things?
He fell on a fence that had sharp edges and sharp posts, and it went through his arm and cut his wrist, slit his wrist all the way up. And he's just hanging there after he fell. Looks
badass. And then fast forward towards the end of the movie, so she slices one of the men's fucking hands, or just the same way, and it looks the same way. Then all the 10, 20, 15 men that they have the same thing. This is where I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So I thought that this movie was going to be like men are shit, basically, is what I really thought it was going to be. It's not that at all. This is, I think, more of a...
It's her projecting her feelings about the situation with her husband. So all these men, I don't even know if all these men are real. I think that she just went away to this place. She was there by herself, and then she's not necessarily seeing these people. We're seeing them, but they're just projections in her head.
You use the word projecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't say that.
What do you mean?
I thought that was a great word to use whenever we were talking in the car. She was projecting her, the way she was feeling.
I said that 3 times in the car.
Oh. Yeah, I know. Why do you say it here?
I just did.
You did? Here, too?
I just said that she's projecting. I said it twice here.
Yeah.
You don't listen to me when I talk, dude. Ever.
Yeah, no, I go in La La Land sometimes, and I think about what the next thing I'm going to say is. Yeah. No, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah, I don't think any of the men are real. I think that's why they're all sustaining the same injuries that her husband sustained after he jumped off the building. He also snapped one of his ankles in half. There's a scene towards the end of the movie, all the men start walking around, and their ankles are all snapped. They can't even walk anymore because their ankles are snapped, and their fucking hands all cut up, just like her husband's hand. That's where it gets weird, but it's A24, so who knows really what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than just that. That's definitely one of the aspects of it, I do believe. It's definitely not set in reality, though, at all, because, like I said, you might not catch it when you first see the movie, but it's definitely the same actor playing all of these roles. And I'm assuming that she is thinking of, she's projecting this out of, the different sides personalities of her husband. But the only thing that throws me off, Ricky, is what I think is happening. I think most of this shit is in her head. I don't think any of these men are actually real. Because she gets to the place and she sees pretty much the housekeeper. And I think from that point on, it's like the last man she saw, so she's just got in her head, and then she starts using this man in replace of her husband.
Like projecting.
Yeah, projecting. Right? I told you to say it earlier. Thanks for giving me it.
Now, your theory sounds an awful lot like mine.
How you figure? You
said the exact same thing I said.
Okay, but you left out that he's fucking you left the part that's all in her fucking head. These people aren't real. They're not actually there.
Oh, I left all that out where they're not real?
Unless you completely stole it from me in the fucking car.
Oh, you evil son of a bitch. Okay, all right.
Ricky, did you really use that?
I just said before you started, he wasn't listening to me. That's the issue. That's the issue. He thinks about what he's going to say next, and he's not listening to anything I'm saying. I just said that none of these men are real. She's projecting all these men. They're coping mechanisms for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
you did not anything on.
Well, you completely mixed what you said in the car with what I said in the fucking car. Give me something here.
No, I can't give you any of that.
Okay, regardless, I'm pretty sure you did leave out the part where I think she saw the one dude when she first got to the house, and she used... Okay, so that's the last man she saw, so that's why we were seeing the same guy as each of these characters.
I didn't say that, and
thank you.
there's something to that, maybe.
Absolutely, there's something to that. Anyways, regardless. Okay, so set up the friend.
The whole time she's at this place, she's texting and video chatting with her friend. She's saying, this guy fucking, I looked out my window, saw this naked guy. Eventually, she's telling her friend that so many bad things are happening to her. Her friend's like, I'm 3 hours away. I'm on my way there. And I'll be there soon. I got your back, girl. Basically.
Yeah, so it sets that she has a best friend. We know nothing else about her. We just see her on FaceTime pretty much the whole movie until the end. We're just setting that up. So we go from there, right? And then at the end of this fucking movie, there is a car accident, and then one of the guys starts giving birth to another male. And he somehow goes from a dick to a vagina. Yeah, this is where the body horror comes in. That's fucking phenomenal.
This is where it gets very weird and very A24-ish. The man walks up, the naked guy that's been stalking her the whole time.
Big dick. Big dick. So much dick in this movie. Could you get your eyes off of his dick?
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with that at all.
Really, Ricky? When you see a dick on screen, it's pretty fucking rare. You're telling me that you're not going to fucking be staring at dick all the time?
You know what's more rare than that?
It's big dick.
This is yet another A24 movie with fully erect penis in it.
It was not erect. That was impressive. It was
No. Towards the end of the movie, when you watch it again, you'll see he had an erection. Anyways, this weird guy, boner dude, I call him boner dude, he lays down and then he opens up his legs and then you see a vagina. You see a full-grown man coming out of it. And then
still has a dick.
Then he's like a hermaphrodite. Or it was an anal birth. I don't know. But then this man comes out.
Definitely a vagina.
This man comes out of this man. He's all gooey and just afterbirth type shit. And then he stands up and then he's pregnant. And then he collapses. And then fucking another man comes out of his vagina. And this man gets up all afterbirth like and shit. And then he stands up and then he collapses. And then a vagina appears on his back.
Yeah.
And then another guy crawls out of that. This is all true. Another guy crawls out of that vagina.
Back vagina.
Stands up, falls over again because their ankles are all broken. So they're always falling over.
Yeah, they
falls
all have
over
the same
again,
injury.
and then you see another person coming out of this fucking person. She walks into the room, and then she comes back to see the last guy coming out. The last guy that comes out is actually her husband.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, so here we got some metaphors being thrown around like crazy. This is the moment in the movie where I was like, okay, what the fuck does all this mean? I was totally confused, but I do like what I just saw. Very weird. Very weird.
Yeah, I was just like loving the fuck out of the last 30, 20 minutes of this movie, especially when that shit starts happening.
It makes no sense on the first watch.
But down the second watch is gonna make sense. Like this,
it probably never makes sense.
A few watches,
but
I will give it
badass.
a few fucking watches. But yeah, I'm basically because I know there's gotta be people that are gonna see this movie or that were in the theater with us. I don't know. They had to have been like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen in my fucking entire life.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I get that. Like if you're not used to movies like this, okay, sure.
This movie
is fucking smart as fuck. Like there's some clever fucking ideas going on that I can't wrap my head around yet. But I was seriously staring there the whole time, just like confused look, but I was like smiling, like laughing out loud at someone. It was just like one of the strangest endings I've ever seen in a fucking movie ever. Okay, so what is the metaphor or the idea of all these men giving birth to another man?
Another interpretation of themselves.
And then it turns into her.
And I think that was the moment.
I think
that was the moment of closure for her.
Okay, but why is it going from here to there?
Because maybe it's
breaking off the layers of
maybe that's exactly what maybe the filmmakers are saying to us. We're separating all these men from these men and showing you that it all ends with her husband.
Yeah,
because there is a sense of closure after her husband comes in. She's like not scared anymore. She has a feeling of
she's
just
almost
calmness.
It's telling me what the fuck he said.
I don't remember what he said.
I know what he says. You're gonna, or it's your fault. No, yeah. So he tells her, what's been fucking with her the whole time, right? She's conflicted with herself. Is it really my fault that my husband committed suicide? So she takes all the blame, but then there's also a side of her throughout the movie where she doesn't take all the fucking blame. So she's really conflicted with herself.
Well, she's scared as shit. She's seeing a bunch of men be born out of other men's vaginas and back vaginas, which is fucking weird. But
she's not scared at that part.
But then when her husband gets up and comes in, she has a sense of calm. She actually goes and sits next to him, and she just sits down and she's like, "What do you want from me?" And then he goes, it's your fault that this happened to me. And then she kind of, earlier in the movie, she kind of just, you can see that it affects her. At this point in the movie, you can tell that she's just over it. And then she said something else to him, I think. And then he goes, "I just want you to love me."
Yeah.
And then she nodded. And then the screen just went black and it said men. Now, that wasn't the end of the movie, because right after that, they showed a scene of her friend actually showing up.
Who is pregnant?
There, which she ends up being pregnant. So you go, what the fuck does that mean? Because they don't show that she's pregnant throughout the whole movie, because she's mostly on a FaceTime video call. So her friend finally gets there to help her. She ends up being pregnant, and then you see Jessie Buckley's character, Harlow? Something like that. You see Jessie Buckley's character sitting outside in just complete peace. Like, she's completely over the torment that she's been living with since her husband killed himself.
And I think that is like, I don't think the movie's saying much more about that part of the story at all. Like, she found closure because she's sitting there with her husband that died with an axe, and then she's outside, we next see, with her pregnant friend coming up, and she's happy. She's looks smiley. It's all sunshines and shit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't imply at all if she like axed them up or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, earlier in the movie, her friend was talking to her, and her friend said, "Hey, if you need me to come there, I'll grab that axe behind you, and then we can get, we can help you out with this situation." Mainly just joking about hacking people up with an axe.
Chopped his penis off, actually.
Yeah, she will chop the guy's penis off because there was a guy flashing her and stalking her. But then at the end, she sits next to her husband. She has the axe in hand, and then it cuts to a black screen that says "men." I kind of go, well, does she hack him up? Is that the closure? Like, it was an off-screen death, like on the kill count. He'd be like, "Oh, we got an off-screen death here, but I'm gonna put him on the board anyways," because she obviously hacked him up with the
he's already
axe.
dead though, so
yeah, but it's a moment of closure. What really threw me off about the end was you got all these births of these men coming out of these other men, and then her friend shows up pregnant. I connected both of them because they happen within minutes of each other, and then you go, what the fuck does it mean?
That's the only part that throws me off at this point now, because I think I kind of understand the whole fucking movie now.
You're welcome,
Ricky. With the it's all about her finding fucking closure. It's about
I told you all this on the car right here.
Yeah, you motherfucker, we were confused up until we got up to this.
Yeah, but this is kind of where I was going with it.
But talking about it more and more, I'm starting to understand it a little bit more. It definitely deserves another watch though to get it a little bit more. But yeah, this is basically just A24's hour and 40-minute telling of a fuck.
You asshole. That's literally what I said. We left the theater, and I'm like, basically it's a movie of grief and someone getting over a tragedy in their life, and then A24 gets their hands on it and turns it into something like this. You please tell me you remember me telling you that.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to go there.
You basically just were going to say
you didn't
the
let
same
me
thing.
Finish.
Okay.
So basically, this is A24's way of telling an hour and 40-minute movie of somebody dealing with grief. No, like dealing with, like, finding closure is her arc, right? It's about a woman. I shouldn't say women. I hate that this movie is titled Men because I feel like it generalizes all men in one group.
Well, I think it confuses people going into it.
Yeah.
Which may
but
be
it's
the
really
point.
not. I feel like it's just a more contained story about a relationship and a woman who's dealing with the trauma from that relationship, and it shows all these men that she projects out there, like Ricky said, I'll give you that, is a version of her ex-husband. The only issue I have with that is that none of the men are good people that she projects onto.
Well, but she's in
so
a
was
point.
her ex-husband just an asshole the whole time?
She's in a point in her life where she probably does. That's how she views men at this stage in her life.
That's right.
So there's no man coming into her life at this stage in her life where she's feeling any bit of comfort besides Jeffrey, which was unassuming and innocent.
He's definitely the man that is supposed to be the hero, but really he's kind of a little cowardly, feminine man.
Yeah, let's wrap it up though. I think we got covered the most of it.
I know. Okay, yeah.
You got something else you want to say?
Yeah, I just feel like this is a sort of relationship dealing with a possessive, controlling.
Alleged though, because we don't.
It's definitely alleged, sure, but in the movie definitely portrays.
We didn't see their whole relationship.
But movie definitely portrays. He's not seeing a good light at all in this.
No,
movie.
he's not. He's not. And I don't know why I'm defending him, but I just feel I don't know.
I mean, he definitely has some. There's definitely some depression going on there. Definitely some issues going on there. Yeah, I love this fucking movie. The ending, I was good with it, and then the ending just completely put it over the top for me. It's not as good as Ex Machina from Alex Garland, but I did prefer it over Annihilation, which is also really good too. This guy's fucking amazing. Jessie Buckley, awesome. I give it a fucking 8.2.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
8.2.
8.2.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, 8.2. That's exactly what I was coming up with it as you were talking. I was like, I'm gonna put this at 8.2.
Yeah, I recommend.
It's good, dude. It's damn good. Go see it in the theaters. If you're watching a spoiler review and you haven't seen it yet, maybe you'll wait.
I don't think what we said is not going to ruin the experience for. I mean, I guess going to ruin a little bit. It will ruin a little bit because this movie goes bonkers as fuck. And if you're into movies that just go out to left field, and like me and Ricky, we had a long, deep conversation about it. Like, it's one of those movies that makes you thought provoking. It just makes you want to speak and have a conversation about it. And we're still not understanding of it, but
I think
we're
I
getting
get
there.
it at this point.
Yeah, of course you do, you fucking piece of shit.
If you enjoyed this video, here's another video right here. Go ahead and check it out. Justin, sell them on the video.
It's a bunch of jump scares.
No, it's just a random video. We don't know what video it's going to be.
Stop telling me which fucking video to fucking promote.
Get your shit together!